Uh, oh, but I was also hypnotized to think that ah, mm, ah, unsettling. Also meant also was a or also referenced settling lawsuits. As if settling malpractice lawsuits, medical malpractice lawsuits. I'll specify that. Or for example, so I was also hypnotized to think that unsettling also referenced settling lawsuits, as if settling medical malpractice lawsuits, for example, and I was hypnotized. No, wait. That's right. Well, I mean, this one's like not a metaphor, right? I was given death threats by lawmakers. Um, and I could also say, and I want to point this out. So, because I could have just written like an unsettled lawsuit, and I still could, right? Um, to think that unsettling also referenced settling lawsuits. I could have changed that to that unsettling also referenced unsettled lawsuits. But if I did that, I would also have to change the last portion of it as if settling medical malpractice lawsuits, for example. And I couldn't just change that to as if unsettled medical malpractice lawsuits, for example. gonna change it anyways. Unsettled lawsuits. As if settling. Oof. Um, oh. So, basically, like, what I was implying, though, was having my memory repressed of, the term, like, remember, the hypnosis is making this difficult, extremely difficult. Um, um, and specifically medical malpractice lawsuits, for example. There we go. Because I was hypnotized to imagine, like, where I got told that I had a deal with the CEO of Intermountain Healthcare, and then, like, that said, oh, they lied to me, blah, 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 like, talking about unsettled medical malpractice lawsuit. Anyways, sorry, that hypnosis is inhibiting me. Specifically medical malpractice, specifically unsettled medical malpractice lawsuits. Okay, ow. Hmm. And, well, this might have been done to distract attention from, um, like political death threats and everything along those lines, and directed towards medical malpractice, but, it just wouldn't work. There's no way people would just be able to forget me mentioning that every single day in almost every single one of my videos. For example, anyways, too. So, but yeah, lawsuits and lawmakers, blah, blah, blah. Right. Mm. This is also a primary motivation wait, what was I gonna say? Because it was, there we go, trying to keep me from becoming famous. Wait, because they tried to frame me, and it had, oh, I also wrote this, also a primary motivation. What I'm trying to say, the hypnosis is inhibiting me so much. This is ridiculous. I should be done by now. This is why, too, this should not take that long to do. But, you know, like, I have a lot of evidence. Like, wow. Specifically unsettled medical malpractice lawsuits. And then, so I was given death threats from lawmakers to try to stop me from becoming famous for medical malpractice lawsuits. Ah. Hmm. Let me look at the quotes. Um. Hmm. There it is. Um. That's interesting because I wrote entire page, three specific quotes. And it made me think of Eilish page, a three-eyed fish. You can't get what you want unless what you want is to die for me. Mm. Now this one I'm not 100% sure about. One of the specific phrases, wording that I used to describe what I was trying to do when I made the petitions and programs was I wanted to rise above all the um, evil, greed, and corruption in the world, and help so that I could help people and save the world. Um, uh, like in a literal sense, like preserving the environment is saving the world. Because if you don't preserve the environment, you're destroying the world. So, that's very literal, actually. Um, but so basically, concept of like water rising, being a metaphor of um, like being a metaphor that I am rising above the agencies, um, the government, the evil, greed, corruption in the world. Sorry about that. Um, so like some government agencies, for example. But you will know that soon the water will rise, um, implying that so where they are would be like evil, greed, and corruption, basically, and higher moral values, almost like the pyramid and the hierarchy of needs. Um, could um, mm, this is like surprising to me too because um, I'm starting to wonder if like um, I'm just kind of like putting puzzle pieces together in my head by myself, like with some of the metaphors, um, and being made to believe that I was told some of these specifically, although like some of them, like didn't were like I'll give you the example. Like most of these with the volume, also with the earthquake, because with the earthquake aspect, that's unsettling. And it's the fact that basically, and this would be a very specific way for me to determine how I can see the metaphors were I was told um, by them, and that it just wasn't like me um, putting together, putting symbolism together, or associating symbolism, um, you know, and creating metaphors uh, by coincidence. Because when I'm cued to have it's basically being it's the presentation that you can see, which I'm referencing. For example, unsettling and being unsettling snow globe. If it was kind of like all at once. Uh, if each individual cue was directly related, then it would make more sense to me. But if it was then I could see it being like a coincidence, possibly my imagination, not something I was just told before, right, premeditated. But the difference here is where I'm not able to make sense of the hypnotic cues and the metaphors, um, because I'm only cued to remember, not immediately. Like um, I just like for example, I just thought about snow globes first when I read about the earthquakes and stuff like that in the letters, and um, it was just a one small thing, right? And I was like, okay, I can see like that's directly related, right? It's not as extensive as I imagined this becoming. Um, I thought it was just like a very simple, brief metaphor reference, but much more elaborate and detailed. And then unsettling. And also because, so all the threats that were on that one page, it's a reference to the quote for everything I wanted, where I was depicted as like a three-eyed fish on an episode of The Simpsons that Mr. Burns wanted to get rid of. Donald Trump was Mr. Burns in the situation. I was the three-eyed fish. Donald Trump wanted to keep the three-eyed fish from going on the news, getting publicity. Or Mr. Burns wanted to keep the three-eyed fish from getting publicity. Donald Trump wanted to keep me from getting publicity. Blah, 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 blah. He's mentioned in this thing, too. On like page 4 or something like that in the letters that John Matthew Hurl wrote, when he's talking about the government. And then, this is very convicting. Also, well, say for example, I metaphorically rise above the evil, greed, and corruption, and in the form of, symbolically in the form of like phone calls, flooding government agencies, which would then, um, uh, you know, um, overwhelmed. Well, I I was trying to describe it. Now it's like my speech is being inhibited and memories being like repressed. What I'm trying to say. Regardless, though, basically, concept of saving people from the evil, greed, and corruption, and corrupt government, for example, And like if they were overwhelmed or flooded with phone calls about me, then it would they would no longer possess the capability of oppressing the people or repressing the people. Um, Mostly oppressing. Repressing could also be used. Um, I usually think of repressing memory, or restricting basically with repressing. Very similar meanings. But um, yeah. And then basically as soon as that would happen, then that's when her life would be in danger. Hmm.